Because you made it to the light, he called me awesome. So the single is awesome. He called me awesome. Because you made it to the light, he called me awesome. So the single is awesome. He called me awesome. Come on. All the girls I like all around in town. You will let you take cool down. I never even knew they in town. He called me awesome. Because I made it to the light. He called me awesome. So the single is awesome. I like to dance all. My life is so fun. If I should have told you, it's really frown. I don't know. Everybody potential was found. I know. She brought me up to my hands down. They got her to go give up a crown. When I go to she was now a movie. I think she wanted me in a movie. Because she couldn't be herself. See? She got me back at me to get out of survey. Because her heart being good. Now I'm in New York, she must be the man. Right, like we could play with. You know what we get to make a baby. Now, I love to drink coconut. What's up? You know we do is drinking coconut. Yes, no other to jump off the ground. She let me when my hand rhythm is on. I believe she love her Jamaican song. She look pretty up in there, come. I ain't call her the Amazon. She has the orders are coming from. I tell her the things we got them. Now we smoking weed, none of the song. She said that the early come, make it come on, let's sing it from the out. Feeling for passion, no after. And then for snack, jiggling cheeks out, keep attacking. Cause I'm here to be to the dive. Putting in the heat of his mind, but I'm fierce at the time. He called me awesome. Because I made me school the right. He called me awesome. So he will be me awesome. He called me. What up, YouTube universe? This is the dark skin, the amazing, awesome American. And we got to get back in again, flexing and dancing. We talking about Mr. Dr. Umar, Black Queens Forever, nobody's never. That's what he said. And he was on Nicki Minaj. Boy, was he on Nicki Minaj. Woo. He went hard in the paint on Nicki. This is some of the things that he said about Nicki. He went to talk about Nicki, then he started talking about Donald Trump. I'm gonna let y'all hear it first.
Lyrically gifted female hip hop artists that we've had this century. Very talented artists. As you know, she used to date Meek Mill at one point, and you know he's a phenomenal artist. And her lyrics,
she about to go hard in the paint.
Think Tank Foundation, organization, and movement that Charlie Kirk helped to co-found. So she was interviewed by his widow, Erica Kirk, for about 30 minutes. And some of the stuff that Nicki Minaj said out of her mouth left me flabbergasted. She said things like, they're speaking for us, that they make us feel proud to be American. She said that they have given us a chance to beat the bad guys and win. She also said something to the effect that really bothered me. Nicki Minaj said, it's not just that, and I'm paraphrasing, I want to try to get it correct, but she said something to the effect that it's not just that we tell Black children to feel proud of themselves, but it's like we're doing that, and at the same time, we're telling other children not to feel proud of themselves. And so I guess she was alluding to this false narrative that the conservatives are putting out there, that teaching black children black history and teaching white children the true history of America is somehow going to make white children feel bad about themselves. That bothered me because she's a black woman, or at least I thought she was. She clearly has black children. So are you saying you don't mind your children growing up in a society where they cannot be taught black history or the true history of America because some people feel it offends the self-esteem of white children? And this is so hypocritical, Art, because we've been in America 400 years at least under British North American control. And look at how the self-esteem and self-worth and self-value of black children has been and continues to be compromised for the benefit of the white child. And yet you're telling me that to implement a curriculum of corrective history where you're not insulting white people, you're not denigrating white people, you're simply making sure white children understand that the foundation of this country was laid and built and cemented on the genocide of Native Americans and the enslavement of African people. And not just the enslavement of African people, the dehumanization of African people. What a lot of people don't get, Art, is that although the United States of America was somewhat late to the international slave trade, even though they joined it rather late, the Portuguese had already been in it. The Swedes had already been in it. The British had already been in it. The Roman Catholic Church had already been in it. America was kind of late to the party. But once America got involved in the transatlantic slave trade, what we call the Ma'afa in African culture and in the conscious community, the Ma'afa, even though America was late, America would soon dominate the transatlantic slave trade. I don't think people understand, Art. Many of the streets and back roads of America were created so that they could traffic black people during the domestic slave trade. A lot of people don't understand that. When you see these small streets in front of big streets and all of your 13 colonies and subsequent states that joined the Union as slave territories, those small states, those small streets are in back of the large streets were created so you could sneak the slaves in the alleyway and traffic them in the alley and sell them in the alleyway.
Now, follow you, fam. He's talking about the beginning stage of slavery. He's not talking about nothing that's going on now. He's talking about back in the days when basically people of my lineage who were slaves, and also I have DNA of original black natives in my lineage as well, who were slaves, because we always lumped together. That's what makes us different than everybody else that happens to share the melanin, because we are a different group. We're black creators of the nation. And what he is alluding to is the birth of finding what's what. It was in America, it was straight laid down dirt, swamp area. If it wasn't for the sacrifice of the people, of my people, this stuff would still look radical. I'm gonna go ahead, hold on. I'm gonna let him cook, y'all.
So, for example, we're in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, you have Market Street, you have Broad Street. Those are your two major streets. You also have other major streets, but you have a lot of small streets. And sometimes when you go down these streets, your car can barely fit down these streets. And you say, well, why would they make a street this small? They did not make the street for the car. They made the street for the slave wagon. They made the street for the slave couple. The streets were made long enough, large enough, just so the slaves could be trafficked down there. A lot of people don't even know that the layout of many of America's major cities that were slave states, that existed in slave states, those cities were laid out to benefit and accommodate the domestic slave trade. Because after 1808, 1808 is when America outlawed the international slave trade. They did not outlaw slavery. They just outlawed the importation of Africans. So from 1804 until 1865, how did they get more slaves in America if you couldn't ship them in? They moved to a domestic slave trade, which means what? It means that they had to birth and create their own domestic slave system. And this is where you get the breeding farms. This is where you get the breeding farms where they would get a dozen black women, one black man, and his job was to keep those black women impregnated constantly. They were called the bitches, and he was called the buck. And unfortunately, we still refer to each other in those same pejorative terms. We call our women bitches, and we call the men bucks or the N-word. We use the same terminology on each other that they used on us. So getting back to the Nicki Minaj situation, what bothers me about my sister, and I still love and respect her, and I'm going to hope that she engages in some corrective behavior, because this is insane. This is absolutely insane to see such a talented, beautiful black woman build her career through black culture by way of the hip hop movement, become a multi-millionaire, one of the top selling artists of this century, and to use black culture to build your career and then turn around and use the platform that was created through black culture and hip hop. And now you're going to use your platform and your prominence within our culture to work against the progress of black people by joining Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk, Turning Point USA against the best interests of black people. It's bothersome. And the issue about this art is, to me, this is the Candace Owens effect.
Basically, what he's alluding to is he's feeling that, and we see it's clear to see that she is doing cooning at his best. Cooning at his best. Listen, she knows that this political party cashes people out if they have a huge following and fan base. The problem is, what he was alluding to is her style, the way her rhythm of flow, it all comes from black culture. So even though she was born somewhere else, to go against the foundation of what made her is appalling. That's what he's mentioning.
This is the Candace Owens effect. What did Candace Owens do? Back in 2007, Candace Owens and her parents, along with the NAACP in Stamford, Connecticut, sued Candace Owens' school district because Candace Owens was receiving threats from some of her white schoolmates. They were calling her racist names. They were leaving racist voicemails, sexist voicemails. There was threats against Candace Owens, and the school district in Stamford, Connecticut sat by and did nothing. So Candace Owens and her parents, with the NAACP's help, rightfully sued the Stamford, Connecticut School Board, I believe it was, to a tune of $37,500. So you have Candace Owens, a black woman, another very articulate, intelligent, attractive black woman, just like Nicki Minaj, who benefited from civil rights, okay, and used those civil rights that our ancestors fought for to bring suit against a white racist school district. And then she spins the block on civil rights, and now look at her. She goes and gets a white husband, and now she's one of the biggest supporters of the conservative white racist agenda against African people. And as she's touring the country, and she's all over the news media, okay, trying to defend the honor, integrity, and legacy of another racist in Charlie Kirk. And don't get me wrong,
Okay, now basically what Umar is basically alluded to is two sides of the same pillar. Well, I'm gonna say this: in the absence of Candace Owen, they need somebody of the same, like not of the same, because Nicki and Candace Owen is totally two different people. But what he's basically alluding to, they have the same sort of ideology for throwing black people under the bus after using them. She didn't have, of course, as much fan base or money as Nicki. Can't even touch her. We all know that. But what he's saying is she used the civil rights laws, which is the HBCUs that we see right now, which is all black colleges that Native Americans helped us get. Well, we helped ourselves get through the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King. So what he's basically saying is that he has a dream that she used black culture and ideally captured a check off of it. When she did that, she ran over there and got a white zaddy, and she been whiteified ever since.
I didn't appreciate the way that he lost his life. I didn't appreciate black people making a mockery of him because I wouldn't want anybody to be made a mockery of when you lose your life in front of your wife and children. That is not to be made fun of. But at the same time, how is Candace Owens running around championing the legacy of Charlie Kirk while at the same time you made a documentary trying to prove to the whole world that George Floyd was not suffocated to death by the knee of a police officer? So you will make a documentary to try to make a black man who was assassinated look like a criminal, and then you'll turn around and go out of your way and even put your safety and the safety of your children in jeopardy to champion the legacy of a racist Charlie Kirk, who Candace Owens refers to as her best friend. How in the hell can a black woman have a white racist as a best friend? Look at the things Charlie Kirk said about black women. Look at the things Charlie Kirk said about black men. But getting back to Nicki Minaj, I believe that Donald Trump and the conservative movement in this country selected Nicki Minaj because they needed a replacement for Candace Owens. Remember, Candace Owens has fallen out of favor with the Republican Party and the mainstream conservative white agenda.
That's the old
she's now
cool.
exposing the Zionist control of the conservative movement and of the United States government. In fact, Art, our infiltration of the U.S. government, he began to question Zionist control.
Basically, what she did is she turned her back on the same group that she made money for. She came up in the ranks around hardcore white supremacists, views, and ideology, right? Married a white dude, even as that she got her a zaddy. She completely went off the scale and went samboed out, right? So as she was selling out, she realized that some of the stuff that was going on, she was on the wrong team. So she started speaking about things that's not right and how they have a false ideology, and it's murder at its best. And she's speaking up, and they kicked her out.
Of U.S. institutions, systems, and industries, and he began to get a little bit out of hand with his rebuke of the Israeli agenda. I believe that's why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I believe that because he was becoming so unapologetic in his criticism of the Israeli influence in America, along with the Zionist influence of America, that he was unalived. And because Candace Owens followed suit behind Charlie Kirk, and she started exposing the Zionist control of the United States government, they had to distance themselves from Candace. So if we're going to distance ourselves from
Well, he got it wrong. I'm going to disagree with my brother Umar. And there's nothing wrong with my brother Umar. He do his thing. I actually think he's entertaining. But where he got it wrong is she went out first. He went out last. She followed her own path away from there. Okay. So let's get that straight. She got out. She got out of Turning Point USA before this dude, you know, was because his last breath he was denigrating black people before he got shot in the neck. So long story short, she was already there before him, but he tagged along, and that's when all of that.
And this is Donald Trump, the Republican Party, and the mainstream white conservative movement. We got to find another black woman. We got to find a. I didn't watch it. I just see a lot of people. What are we talking about? Most lawyers in America. Okay, and use those civil rights. That is not to be made fun of. Made a doctrine. It's dominated by the East Indians. They told.
Okay, I want to get to the part where he's talking about Trump.
As he has shown the world he can be, we're going to let him know. Jeffrey Epstein, when the white man left the Caribbean to make sure black people would never get sole control better than black people, even if it's for black people on the island. In African brothers and sisters.
He's basically talking about the problem out there in the Caribbean.
Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett.
Here it is.
They need somebody to neutralize the conservative movement led by Donald Trump, the mainstream conservative movement led by Donald Trump. They need Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett politically neutralized. They're hoping that Nicki Minaj's status in the hip hop industry and her popularity, not only in America, but around the world, will be enough to take care of two birds with one stone. That's the first reason they chose her. The second reason they chose her is they wanted to show Trinidad and Tobago that if you support us, we will support you. Nicki Minaj is one of your fellow country persons. Her ancestry is from Trinidad and Tobago. She has a mixed race parent from Trinidad.
Basically, he's revealing why Nicki is doing, well, one of the reasons why she's doing this. Not becoming a complete sellout, because that's what she's doing, but to add injuries to insult, her lineage from her father's side, because I was told her mama's from here, her daddy's from Trinidad, but she was born from Trinidad. So, long story short, her lineage that's out there, he's about to spill the beans on why she's doing what she's doing, why she's for the whole, Trump going over there invading Venezuela, the whole bit.
So because you're standing up for Donald Trump's imperialist agenda against Venezuela, we're going to put one of yours in the limelight for us. This is geopolitical art. Now let me go a step further. Some people ask the question, why is Donald Trump doing everything the Zionists are asking of him? The reason Donald Trump is doing everything, Art, that the Zionists are asking of them, because Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Congress has already ordered the Department of Justice, Art, to release all the Epstein files by Friday. Congress ordered the justice.
Now, the thing is just because you hear this from Dr. Umar, which he's pretty smart on the news, because that did happen. It did happen, right? But I know for a fact we not getting all the files. So he's right on one thing, that people are realizing he was in damn near every picture with Epstein before his untimely death. So he's speaking truth to power. But the problem is, just because they said they want all the files, we still ain't seeing all the files.
Department Justice Department to release all the files by Friday. Just today, Art, they released some more today. And guess what? Donald Trump's name is mentioned in those files allegedly hundreds of times. There is clear proof that Donald Trump was on Epstein's jet multiple times. And the question is, being asked.
You ain't lying, y'all. And like and subscribe so I can keep these videos live. Let me get back on the court where I let that shot fly.
By the media, even if Donald Trump did not engage in any of the sex abuse of children and adults, was he aware of it? Because if he was aware of it, he could be charged as an accomplice to the crime. And here's the thing, Jeffrey Epstein.
The problem is what he's saying. I hear him, but do you know the commander-in-chief has immunity? No, I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Art was a Mossad agent. Jeffrey Epstein was Israeli secret intelligence. Jeffrey Epstein was Israeli secret intelligence. And I believe that the Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service, used Jeffrey Epstein to blackmail all of the top politicians, all of the top businessmen, and all of the top politicians, businessmen, and entertainers in America in order to coerce the art to do whatever the Zionists want them to do. And if you don't, you will expose your participation in the Epstein ring. You see how that works?
They call it blackmail.
Zionist art, they use blackmail. They have a file on almost every politician in D.C., black and white. Now, let me tell you how they played Donald Trump. During his first term, they let Donald Trump think he was in charge. During his first term, they let Donald Trump think he was commander. During his first term, they let Donald Trump go against COVID. They let Donald Trump go against the LGBT. They let him do what he wanted to do. You know why? Because they was looking.
He's right, because if you look at what he did to the LGBT community, he outlawed anybody practicing changing your sex. So if someone was to change their sex, they could be in trouble big time. If they catch them doing it, again, it's against the law. So he made it to where if someone does it or practices it, it's against the law. They can get in trouble for it.
Was Donald Trump's second term. They said when he gets back in the second term part, we're going to sit his ass down. We're going to let him know who's in charge. We're going to let him know what he's going to do. And if he tries to be arrogant and narcissistic and belligerent, as he has shown the world he can be, we're going to let him know. Jeffrey Epstein worked for us. And now you work for us. Why? Because you were very good friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a very long time. And we know you know what he was doing.
Thing is everybody should be smart enough to know that shit. The problem is, the huge problem is he has immunity. So he cannot be arrested for it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Even though people know, I guarantee he ain't gonna do no time.
And you did nothing to stop it, even if you didn't participate. You want to know why Donald Trump is attacking Venezuela? Art? Venezuela has an oil deal with Iran. And as you know, Israel can't stand Iran. America can't stand Iran. Venezuela has an oil deal with Iran. That's not good for the Zionists. So they're making Donald Trump attack Venezuela in the name of the Zionists. In Trinidad and
He is hitting home like a mug.
Tobago is standing with Trump, and so therefore Trump is elevating Nicki Minaj to national stature as a payback to the Trinidad and Tobago government. Art, Donald Trump can't get out of this if he wanted to. Whatever the Zionists tell him to do, he will do it. I heard J.D. Vance mention Nicki Minaj by name at least 4 times in his speech that he gave at Turning Point USA's conference in Phoenix on Sunday.
See, this is my thing with her. She cool. I vibe with her music. My problem is because I like and I really think she's one of the most powerful female rappers ever. People gotta lay back, and I'm gonna tell you why people gotta lay back on this. Just because they're celebrities, giant, iconic stars, does not mean in their personal life you're gonna relate to them. You get where I'm coming from? They'll do something off the wall, Sambo and Coon, and then you'll be like, "Oh no, I ain't gonna do that. I would never." That's because we're all different. She sees the opportunity and takes the lead in it. And what she did was, which kind of messed her up, because 10 million followers later, you know, you realize people jumped off that, you know, that ship that she created. And when you go against the black community, is you see what goes on. I mean, and it's not just the black community. Also, she went after a lot of people. But what I'm saying is, she did it in hopes to slide amongst the same ones who created, like he said, this way of speaking their mind and this false ideology, white supremacy. So she's allowing herself to be spearheaded in front of the whole United States. And everybody is not feeling that. That's why she lost 10 million followers. I'm gonna let him cook some more. He just don't like the fact that she put herself, and he's wanting her to like stop it, like just get out of it. I mean, to be real with you, just me personally, I don't think no black celebrity should be in any one of the parties of it. Why do I feel that way? Because I even gave a nickname for the Democrats because they ain't never did nothing for black folks, but they want you to vote until you get your booty to the poll. So they leave you out cold. And the Republicans, they're just straight up real with some of the stuff they do, blatant racism that they practice. So it's neither good on either side for me. And um, I gotta feel me. You know what I'm saying? And what he's going to talk about, I'm going to fast forward to what he want to talk about because I think he got on Nikki a little bit more. Huh? Okay, here it is. This is the part I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about.
Gave a speech supporting Donald Trump's interview. Huggies Fest absorbing core versus 3 Ps. Will it leak? 1 P. Who are being oppressed by who? Remember, Art, when the white man left the Caribbean, he put the East Indians in charge. A lot of people don't know that. When the white man left the Caribbean to make sure black people never get sole control of their island, he left East Indians in charge and he left Chinese in charge. And if you go to almost any Caribbean island today, you will find that either the East Indians or the Chinese are doing
And he's speaking truth to power.
better than black people, even if there's more black people on the island. Trinidad and Tobago is unique because you have just as much East Indians as you have Africans. So I need to know if Nicki Minaj stands with the East Indians of Trinidad and Tobago, who are oppressing our brothers and sisters on that island, or does she stand with her Trinidadian African brothers and sisters, as do I? But
he's talking in a Pan-African way, which is nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with it. Even though his lineage is from America. So to me, he's more black creative of America, or would I say the black yeah, creator, part of the creator of America, because he's black, and got a lineage that helped with that. So even though he's Pan African, he knows more about her family heritage out there in Trinidad. Okay.
back to this art. I believe that Nicki Minaj was selected for three reasons. Number one, they need somebody to neutralize Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett. They need somebody to neutralize the conservative movement led by Donald Trump, the mainstream conservative movement led by Donald Trump. They need Candace Owens and Jasmine Crockett politically neutralized. They're hoping that Nicki Minaj's status in the hip hop industry and her popularity, not only in America, but around the world, will be enough to take care of two birds with one stone. That's the first reason they do.
And 10 million followers jumped right off her fan bandwagon.
Chose her. The second reason they chose her is they wanted to show Trinidad and Tobago that if you support us, we will support you. Nicki Minaj is one of your fellow country persons. Her ancestry is from Trinidad and Tobago. She has a mixed race parent from Trinidad and Tobago. So because you're standing up for Donald Trump's imperialist agenda against Venezuela, we're going to put one of yours in the limelight for us. This is geopolitical art. Now, let me go a step further.
Now, what he said had to be the most correct thing you could talk about who she is, how she got here, and what she stands for. Now, when she got her crazy behind on stage, and again, I love her music, but when she got on stage and she was talking about just white folks and caking to them in so many ways, I'm talking about it was so bad. When she was doing it, I just couldn't believe that she would do such a thing. I was like, what is she doing? You know, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to do that. You don't need to be not with these white devilish people around you like this. You know, they just want someone of melanin skin to go in. So you're doing exactly what they want you to do. And then he's looking at it for two sides. One, like he's mentioning, her power. They're siphoning off her power. Okay. Now we know when she threw blacks, in the lion's den, she had a backlash with that. In the end, we remember that, right? 10 million followers, not fans of hers no more. Jumped off her main page of what happened. This is something she built from the ground up. Just like I remind you, but she's throwing it all away for again a piece of the white pie. I have to say, and he's gonna go in a little deeper, but that's what he got for Nikki. And I'm praying and hoping she understands that she need to get in front of somebody and speak. Why was she under some type of white trans spell or something? You're married to a brother. I mean, what the hell?
Some people ask the question, why is Donald Trump doing everything the Zionists are asking of him? The reason Donald Trump is doing everything, Art, that the Zionists are asking of him, because Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Donald Trump is in those Epstein files. Congress has already ordered the Department of Justice, Art, to release all the Epstein files by Friday. Congress ordered the Justice Department, Donald Trump's Justice Department, to release all the files by Friday. Just today, Art, they released some more today. And guess what? Donald Trump's name. This political art. But how does a rapper, how does a hip hop artist go from rap to giving speeches at the United Nations? And on November the 18th, Nicki Minaj gave a speech supporting Donald Trump's intervention in northern Nigeria on behalf of the Christians. Let me ask you.
Again, these were brownie points for the white supremacists to get Nicki to get there and say these things to infiltrate a country that they know they can't get back in, right? This is how they think. Look how they do in Venezuela. They're at the Caribbean Sea as we speak. So they look at it as, look, we can go over there and start taking their resources.
Question, Art. Since when did Donald Trump start caring about black Christians? He don't care about the black Christians right here in America.
Now that's what I want to talk about. He ain't never heavily have any influence in helping the founders of the nation. Okay, the creators of the nation, which is black people. We have yet got reparations.
What has Donald Trump done about miseducation for black Christians in America? What has Donald Trump done about police brutality against black Christians in America? What has Donald Trump done about homelessness and gentrification against?
Not a damn thing.
Black Christians in America. What has Donald Trump done against economic apartheid waged against black Christians in America? Since when did Donald Trump start giving a damn about black Christians? So let me get this right, Art. You're not doing nothing for the black Christians in America, but you're going to go all the way to northern Nigeria. You're going to go all the way to northern Nigeria and save Nigerian Christians from.
He's saying that to say this. They're going over there to take some damn land and aura and whatever else they got over there. All right. That's what's going down.
Genocide and abuse. Now, first, Art, let me say this. There is genocide and abuse. Some abuse, some genocide against my northern Nigerian Christian brothers and sisters by Muslims in the northern region that I don't condone. If the international reports are right, you've had 10,000 northern Nigerian Christians who've been massacred over so many of these past years. It's wrong. I don't condone it. And I hope the Nigerian government gets this under control. Northern Nigeria, Art, is mostly Muslim. Southern Nigeria is mostly Christian. So the Muslims who are living, the Christians who are living in Muslim-dominated northern Nigeria, they're the ones who are being harmed. But guess what, Art? This was going on when Donald Trump was president the first time. If this was going on when Donald Trump was president the first time, why didn't he do something about it then? Because he's not threatening military invasion in Nigeria because he cares about Christians. Because if that were the case, Art, why don't he do something about the South Sudanese who are being genocided right now? Why don't Donald Trump?
It's all about land. It's all about what he can get out of it, man. That's why he doing this shit. You see, he like, shit, I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Simple, one-on-one, what it is. Okay. Now, I will let Dr. Umar cook some more. But the truth of the matter is, it got always something to do with power. And that's exactly what's going on right now, y'all. Okay? He talking about land that he wants to get, and he's determined to get it. Just like what he doing, he's using the example to Venezuela. Is it all about drugs? Of course it is. But I would say drugs can be something that our country can use too. So when he getting rid of the cartel, leader out there in Venezuela, he's gonna spin the block on anybody who was down with his ass. He ain't gonna be the first one. You see, I honestly think that he's not gonna stop with just one country. That's why he already made airstrikes against Nigeria. He did this recently. Now, of course, this interview that was out with Mr. Dr.umar for the airstrikes, but he already on Christmas Day had an airstrike against Nigeria. And I'm gonna be real with you, it's not right. It's not. I'm not gonna sit here and condone that, you know, because he's actually destroying something, knowing they ain't gonna be able to get their lick back at all. Or bombing, sending missiles over there. He claimed ISIS was over there, but ISIS is, and I mean not ICE here, but the ISIS of terrorists back in the days, 10, 20 years ago, that was a jihadist group that was obliterated around Bush's term. And I mean junior, not senior. So I don't really kind of believe that, but he gonna spin it how he want to spin it. So yeah, he bombed him already. He needed an excuse. He protected, you know, African Christians, and we all know that ain't true because he don't do nothing for no black Christians here. We all know that. Hey, he don't do nothing for black Christians. Only thing he do good for us is help us with the immigration. That's it. That's the only thing that helps us in some ways. But as far as helping us as a whole, like, it would be nice to give reparations, our contributions and creations of this nation. That would be nice. But that's not happening. He's not doing that. And so, no, he's not helping us. And I honestly think this is all about what he wants. He wants it, he's going to get it. If he wants to get the aura, all the land and stuff that's in the ground, which is viable, and that's what he's going for. Just like he didn't went after Venezuela, so he's going after whatever he can see that he can do and kind of like get away with it in a way, because ain't no other country gonna want to catch the fade. They gonna be like, hey, you gotta handle that. You know what I'm saying? Gotta remember, Venezuela uh is cool with China. Get what I'm saying? The reason why China ain't getting involved is because Donald Trump, the orange man, probably already told China, hey, look, we gonna do this. Y'all stay away. We got this shit. I'm not, and trust me, China, want it. I'm quite sure they want to get involved, but they not gonna get involved. They're not gonna get involved because they know what's at stake. We have a lot of power, so they gotta kind of like fall back in. You know what I mean? So that's what you see right now. You see a straight attack on the countries that Trump said he's going to attack, and the big super powerful countries just watching, like, hey, look, hey, they ain't our fight. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah, more stuff than that. He's taking down regimes. He's not only taking them down, but he's using their resources too at the same time, which is he should. Is he should. But I honestly think I'm not mad at what he's doing with the whole immigration thing. It's certain things I'm cool with. I ain't gonna lie. So the policies is on point. Um, And I just that's where I'm at with it. I can't speak on, can't change, uh, you know, war on other countries, but I can be, acceptable to him clearing, um, how would I say, unnecessary foreign uh, implications. So him doing that, it's a plus. Like I say, I ain't gonna ride with everything he do, but just that alone is okay, you know. And he's gonna do everything he's good at. But I wasn't stupid. I been knew that he was on to something else, and it don't take a rocket scientist to know that, you know. And he'll use pretty much anybody to build his base up and his name, and and again, she might have made some good money for that, you know. But I'm not gonna get too hard on her for making those decisions in life, because I'm gonna tell you something. If so many celebrities ride with certain politicians, it's like, why should we even be upset if she's selling out like that? Like, that's just what she does. You got other celebrities that sell out too. You know what I mean? So she's not the only one. So I'm not gonna get hung over or even upset that I see Nicki Minaj up there, cackling and keeping the white folks happy, and put them on a pedestal, if you will, because again, celebrities are just celebrities. They not gonna. You can't just um, connect your life to them, because what they do on their spare time is something you probably won't ever do. Who they align themselves to is something you probably would never align yourself to, or even be caught dead with that person. So the things that they do is separate from what you see on TV. Does it mean that they go, do the same thing you do? Like, it's a separation of music. To be people is too serious about it. Music is music, it's entertaining. It's like anything else entertaining. People got a life. And, I'm not saying she did right by what she's doing. I'm just saying that I'm not gonna be upset. Was I disappointed she did all of that for those white folks? Of course I was. But as far as me being upset to her, and I've seen many Sambos, I'm talking about to the top of the list of selling out. I can't even get mad at her too. I mean, honestly, I can't, because I've seen worse. I've seen worse. I've seen worse people than her. Than her. So I'm not gonna really get upset that she's doing this for this party, Republican Party. But she's doing it, and I hope to God she, that everything gets all right with her and her fan base, and what's going on, because 10 million of them did unfollow her. I mean, it is pretty tough for her on that end, but hey, when you choose sides, you got to be prepared for some of those backlash, especially when you talk about black. You know, you got to prepare, because we ain't having that. I'm saying, yeah, and again, all due respect to her, her family, her man, because her man is black, and from creating black America, you know, so constructive creating black America. So all that has to be in factor. Let her go get her bag. Maybe she'd come up with an interview talking about she was under some type of white spell, y'all. Calm down. She might come out with an interview and explain why she went over there and start, selling out. and everybody be back to normal again. But again, we just waiting to see what she would do, and that's it. That's all I gotta really say about it. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, it ain't the end of the world. You know, one of your favorite celebrities is lying themselves to the wrong side of history, people. I mean, hey, it happens. You don't know who's gonna be a sellout next though. You start to find out as you get older, like, oh, what are you doing? But again, fans and celebrities are different. That's all I gotta say. Fans and celebrities are different. I'm not mad at this woman. She doing what she want to do. I'm not saying I agree with it wholeheartedly. Would never agree with being cool with some racist people that denigrate black people. You know, some dude got smoked, got hit in the throat. Last words was denigrating black people, though. I mean, it's just a lot of, I would not want to be around them. Like, honestly, I'm just keeping it 100. If I'm a celebrity doing my thing, I wouldn't care how much money they got on tap. I'd be like, you know what? That money sound good, but I know it ain't no coming back from this. You know what I'm saying? So I know people will be like, "Oh, you ever been there?" Okay, that's fine. You can say that. But I know me. If I already got a fan base and I'm blowing up, I just don't go well with people who don't like my ass. Period. If you racist, you on the other side of history and not on the right, I'm gonna leave you right there. I don't care how much money you got because by then I made enough money to take care of myself and my family. So it's not about that. I'm not gonna sell out because I'm black. That's what I'm holding it down. That's how it should be. But everybody ain't the same, peeps. Everybody ain't the same. Yeah. So, it is what it is. This woman going hopefully she come back to the table, explain herself. Was she some type of white uh spell that kind of made her go out there and speak like that? And you can tell she when she was speaking, she was like, it just didn't even look right. Like, tell you the truth, it was like she was trying to find something to like get the people to cheer for, because nothing but male people all around there. So, you got all this sauce just everywhere. And she's like kind of felt out of place in a way when she was talking to Erica Kirk, trying to get her to vibe with her and say ridiculous stuff. I mean, come on. She'll never know how it is to be white. And they know that. They're not stupid. It's just who she is. Her power is why she's there. And on top of it all, what Dr. Umar had mentioned about her lineage, so that adds the factor. And again, I'm quite sure she got a nice bag for that. Yeah, she got a nice bag, and I ain't trying to get her in her business like that. 'Cause that's her, but she's not the only one that would do it. I believe it was way worse for people than her who sold black folks out. It was actually from you know, the constructive black America side. I really truly believe it. I really truly believe it was way more worse for people than her. It's more, and I'm gonna take shout out to the Boondocks. It's a whole lot of Uncle Ruckus is around here. I truly believe that. I think it's more Uncle Ruckus than who she is, you know, because it's been going down for years. So it's always gonna be somebody portraying the black community, and you look at them and you like, at the end of the day, they still gonna, turn on you anyway, and that's what they gotta realize. and you gotta let them find out. So all of this, mayo ass kissing, it's gonna be a day she's gonna look back at that shit and say, damn, why did I do that shit? I'm not wishing bad on her. Again, this ain't me wishing nothing bad on this woman. I actually admire her lyricists and how far as a woman, how competitive she is in the game and how great that she is, iconically, entertainment wise. But this ain't about that. This is about something way greater. We talking about a whole culture of black folks who looked up to her. You know what I mean? And she just basically said, you know what? I'm gonna try to get these honkies to, relate to me. And that ain't how you do it, baby. So hopefully she could, you know, get on the mic and speak and talk about this little whitewash spell she was on and, put it to bed because the black community is like, shit, huh? Shit. You know what I mean? What the fuck? What you doing over there with them? That's how we looking. Like, hey, what you doing over there with them? What you talking over there? What's going on? What? And she ain't got, and I'm gonna be real with you. She wanted to do this, you could tell. But at the end of the day, she still got time to figure this out. She can get somewhere to the interview. She can explain, and if she don't, again, she grown. She do what she want to do. But I'm not gonna get all into the facts of why she's doing it. I'm not gonna break it down. But Dr. Umar made a lot of sense. But I'm not gonna get all into the gist of it. I'm just gonna say and call it like it is. She cooning and Sambo selling. That's what she doing. That's what she doing. Okay. And I'm not mad at her because I've seen again constructive black America do something. That was not America, but black Americans, constructive black Americans actually doing something like this. But even worse. You understand what I'm saying? Because you could tell she was lost for words. If you look at that interview, I've seen it like maybe 5 times already. And I was looking at, you know, Nicki Minaj, who was one of the most phenomenal female rappers that ever lived. I can see how she was slipping on her pip. When she was up on that stage, she was trying to get Erica Kurt attention. And it weared off a little bit. And then she realized who she was while they was doing all of this. That's when she started getting into. If you notice, she was trying to get her to look and shake her head and vibe with some of the nonsense she said. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And she made her feel good about being blonde and blue eyes because that's what she got. Ain't nobody dumb. She's a lyricist. I'm just watching her. What she doing? She's looking around, reading the room. What Miss Nicki Minaj got to understand is, look where you surrounded yourself to. Shit start getting strange afterwards. You have to kind of freestyle your way up out that shit. So, hopefully she get on a mic, explain the uncertain and uncomfortable thing that she said about white kids and the beauty of them and black kids' beauty. Like, I just didn't get that part. But again, she's catering to these Republicans and straight up racist people. So she's trying to get some type of validation, but yet forget the constructive black nation. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. You try to reach out and get white validation when you build your whole career through constructive black nation. That's the problem, honey. That's a huge problem. And that's why people are making videos about it. That's why you heard Dr. Umar talk about it and connect your whole, what's really going on with your people and how just a lot of people just like, I can't believe it. Well, I'm not going to get all into that. I'm just going to report what I see. I think you're still unbelievable as far as music artist, but I separate what you can do entertainment wise, what you're doing in real life. That's how I get in. That's why I don't get mad because I've seen some of the top do some way more stuff worse than what you did or what she did already. Honestly, way more. Like she ain't did nothing compared to some of these super sellouts. That's how I'm gonna put it. Super sellouts. And okay, yeah, she sold out, but I know some people who are super sold out. Like it ain't nothing. She can't compare to what they already had done. You get what I'm saying? So again, big ups to her career and everything. We see when she went against blacks, she had a super backlash, and 10 million followers left that ass. I mean, whoa, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. We're not talking about 10,000. I don't think she would have too much. It wouldn't have mattered. But 10 million? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people right there. So, hopefully she can bounce back, get on the mic, talk about it, let everybody know it was some type of white wash spell that she was on. You know, we gonna rebuke that demon and keep God's reasoning. So hopefully she bounce back, get on the mic, talk about it, get it out the way, and this won't haunt her. Now, if she don't, then hey, what can I say? It's we gonna have more footage of her getting on television, talking for these damn white folks that calling her N words too behind her back. Though I mean, that's just how you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it as they still look at you the same, you know, no matter what you do in the game, even if you that popular. So again, I come back with another video. All right.